Hello everybody and welcome to this instruction video. In this video I'll be showing you how to make this optional square. Deirdre Isis named it Jack, for extending Sophie's universe from a square to a rectangle. Now, of course, to make this square you need the original design, which you can also find online on Deirdre's website, lookatwhatimade.net. If you'd like to see what it looks like with these squares attached to Sophie's universe, you can also visit my own website, it's allinanutshell.com. Now, I'll be taking you step by step through this square. There's one thing you should note is the hook size you're using. I'll be using a 3.5mm hook to make this square. The reason is that if I use the original 3mm hook, which I've been using to make the rest of Sophie's universe, the square will be slightly too small. So you need to up a hook size to make sure that it fits to the rest of your Sophie's universe. So if you've been using a different kind of yarn, and for example you've been using a 4mm hook to make your Sophie, you also want to just up a hook size. So I'll be using a 3.5mm hook instead of a 3mm, as I've done for the rest of Sophie's universe. So I'll be taking you through this pattern step by step. I hope this is a useful instruction video for you, and thank you for watching. Start with a magic ring, yarn over, pick up the loop, pick up the loop again, and pull through. To start this round we want to work in total 12 double crochets in the magic ring. The first one is of course a chain 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, which counts as our first double crochet, and then in the ring we're going to work 11 more double crochets. That's 1, 2, and you'll see that I'm holding the ring tight to prevent it from going all wrong. And then this first round is always, in my experience, the most tricky, just because you have to hold everything properly. So that's the third double crochet, 4, 5, 6, and then this is double crochet number 11, which together with that first chain 3 makes 12. I'm going to pull the ring closed, close the ring, there we go, pulling on the end, and then join with a slip stitch in the third of these 3 chain stitches. There we go. Now you can cut off and pull through. Work away your ends, and then you're done with round 1. Round 2. In this round we're going to be making in each and every stitch a double crochet and a front post double crochet. We're going to start where we finished in this stitch with a slip stitch join, and start with a double crochet in this chain 3 stitch, and that of course will be a standing double crochet. So in the same position as where we already have that slip stitch in there. Make a standing double crochet. Now around this chain 3, so around that post, we're now going to be making a front post double crochet. So this is around the same stitch. Make a front post double crochet. onto the next stitch. That's going to be that stitch. Again, make a double crochet in the stitch itself, and here be sure not to accidentally skip this stitch, because it's going to be very full here with these front posts also wanting to fall over that stitch. So that is the first, say, double crochet, and then again around the post of the same stitch work a front post double crochet. So you're going to have to go slightly back and around the post of this stitch. Work a front post double crochet, and that's your repeat. So you do this on each and every stitch. So this is the next stitch. Work a double crochet on the stitch, so really in the top, and then a front post around the post of this stitch. You see how you get this little zigzag effect here, with one being on top, so front to back, front back. Next stitch, again a regular double crochet, and then one around the post of the stitch. And we continue like this all the way around. And now we're on our last stitch here. So make a double crochet on the stitch, and then a front post around the post of that stitch, and then we can close with a slip stitch in this first standing double crochet. There we go. Oops, and again, and then cut off our yarn and pull through. Work away your ends, and then you've completed round 2. Just closing this all a little bit in. You can see how you've made zigzags with front and back folding stitches. Round 3, I have a new color yarn on my hook, and we're going to start with a standing double crochet and then the stitch where we just finished with that slip stitch, and that is this stitch over here. You can see there's the slip stitch join. I'm going to start with a standing double crochet in this stitch here. Like so. On the next stitch, which is going to be this treble, or this front post stitch here, front post double crochet, we're going to make a double crochet. Around this front post, we're now going to be making a front post treble crochet. So that means 2 times over, and then around this post. So this is the post of the same stitch that we just entered into. We've now been on top of the stitch, we're now going around the stitch. Make a treble crochet, and do be mindful that this is a treble crochet, because you could easily make the mistake of doing a double crochet here. now we're going to make 2 double crochets on the next 2 stitches. The one is going to be at the back here, and the, because it looks, so don't accidentally skip this stitch, because you see if you lay your work flat that this treble actually slightly falls over this double crochet here to the back. So be sure not to accidentally skip this stitch here. Make that double crochet. Then on the next stitch also make a double crochet, and this stitch you're now working into is again a front post double crochet, and around this front post double we're now going to be making a front post treble. So twice over, around the post of, make a front post treble crochet. That's your repeat unit. 2 double crochets and the treble around the post of the front post. So once more, 1 double crochet and a second double crochet, and then 2 times over, treble. 1, 2, 3, and especially make sure not to accidentally skip that first stitch, because you really have to push back to see that stitch. That's 1, 2, twice over, and then the front post treble. And your front posts should always be around the front post from the previous round. That's your check. And then you continue like this all the way around, and we close with a slip stitch in that first standing double crochet. And then onto the last repeat here, so making this last treble around that last post, and then we're going to close here in this first standing double crochet. Cut off your yarn and pull through like so, and fold it a little bit into place. You see here that you have the treble on top of this front post double, so you see this nice line here that gives you the zigzag, the 3D dimension here. So that completes round 3. Round 4. In this round we're again going to be making the framework on which we can build the square. So we're going to be squaring up this circle. We're going to start in the stitch where we finished. You see here, this is the stitch that contains the slip stitch join. There it is. So in this stitch I'm going to start with a standing single crochet. And there we go. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to skip 3 stitches and then make a bobble stitch. So we're going to skip these 1, 2, 3 stitches, and this is the stitch we're going to work in. This is a stitch just before the treble, so that's a checkpoint. That stitch is the one you're working in, and we're going to make a bobble stitch in there. So once over, indeed skip 1, 2, 3 stitches, and stitch number 4 make a bobble. So 1, again yarn over, insert, pick up, take off, and again yarn over, 4 loops on your hook, take them all off, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then in the same stitch make another bobble. So yarn over, 1, 2, 3, take them all off. Again chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to skip 3 stitches, and especially now note that this is stitch number 1, so it's 1, 2, 3 you're skipping, and this is stitch number 4, because especially this stitch can be easy to like not notice that it's there, because it's being pulled up by the bobble here and can actually be covered by this bobble. So be note of exactly which stitches you're skipping. So we're going to skip 3 and then make a single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then this treble is going to be that first single crochet, and then also a second on the next stitch. And then this stitch is of course the equivalent to that stitch. You can see how you've now made a corner here. And this we're going to do 4 times in total. I'll show you the repeat again. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Skip 3 stitches and make a bobble stitch then. 1, 2, 3. So here in stitch number 4, which is again just before the treble, that stitch, make a bobble stitch. 1, 2, 3, skip, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4 loops in total on your hook. Take them all off. There we go. Chain 4 and make a second bobble stitch in that same position. 1, 2, 3. Take them all off. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Skip 3 stitches, so this is number 1, 2, 3. Then this treble here is of course number 4, so there goes the first single crochet, and then the stitch after that goes the second. You can see how you've now done the repeat 2 times, so you need to do this 2 more times and then close with a slip stitch in this first standing single crochet. So for round 5, I'm going to start with a standing double crochet in any corner space. And this is of course the start of a new corner like we've done many times before. 2 double crochets in that space, followed by chain 2 and then 2 more double crochets in that same space. There we go. We're now going to be working a back post double crochet around this bobble stitch here. So, and by doing so we're also going to bring it a little bit together, just making it more tidy. So yarn over, so a front post double crochet. It's from right to left, front to back. Make a front post, sorry, this is a front post double crochet. In the chain space make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and a third one, 3. Around these 2 single crochet stitches that we have here, work 2 front post double crochets. So around the post of that single crochet, work 1, and around the post of the next, work a second front post double crochet. Now we're going to do the same on this side as we did on that side. So in the chain space, work 3 double crochets. It's 1, 2, 3. In this position, again, a front post double crochet around the treble, or around the cluster, sorry, around the bobble. I've got all my waves mixed up tonight. So around the bobble, make a front post double crochet, and then we're on the corner again, so that's 2 double crochets followed by a chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets in that space. And then you're at the same point where we started, of course, which means on the next stitch again a front post double crochet around that bobble, and then 3 in the space, 2 front posts on the 2 single crochets, 3 in the space, again a front post and the corner. Go like this all the way around. When you get here, of course, take the threads with you and work them in from the previous round. Go like this all the way around and close with a slip stitch in that first standing double crochet. Round 6. This is a very easy round because we're going to be making a double crochet on each and every stitch, and in the corner 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet. So that's 2 double crochet. Of course, the first is a standing double crochet, chain 2, and then 2 more double crochet in that chain 2 corner space. And then on each and every stitch, of course, a double crochet. Of course, especially again that first stitch. So move your corner aside to make sure you see this stitch here, your first stitch. There it is. Number 1. This is the first of 14, which will bring you to the other side. And then you make the corner again and you go all the way around. And when you get to the corner here where you have your yarn from the previous round, take it with you and work it in that way. Then you have it well secured to your work. So continue like that, go all the way around and close with a slip stitch in this first standing double crochet. Round 7, exactly the same as round 6. I'm going to be making a double crochet on each and every stitch, and in the corner a 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet. So just to get you started, the first stitch is a standing double crochet followed by a second double crochet, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets in that chain 2 corner space, like so. And then on each stitch a double crochet. Of course, be mindful of the first stitch, you don't accidentally forget it. So that's number 1. Then you're going to be making 18 double crochets across. When you get to the other side, you make the corner again. And of course, There you go. Of course, here take your thread from the previous round with you and work it in and secure to your work in that way. So I'm going to go like this all the way around, and then if you want you could of course close with a slip stitch, but you could also close using the invisible joining method. And if you want to connect these squares to one another, that actually makes it a lot easier if you use that invisible join. So I'm just going to show you how to make that also. So continue like this all the way around, and I'll see you at the end. So to do the invisible joining method, you stop just before the last stitch, so you don't make that slip stitch, and then cut off your yarn and pull through. There we go. And the stitch we're going to make with a needle, so using your tapestry needle, pick up your yarn, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a stitch. In essence, that's what we're going to do. Now normally you would make the slip stitch in this first standing double crochet here, but you're not going to be making this stitch in here, but in this stitch just after it. You see, I'm going to enter into this stitch and pull my yarn through, then bringing these two really close together, and then I'm going to go back to this last stitch where my yarn is connected to, so to this last stitch. I'm going to enter into the top of the stitch, like so. You can see where my needle is in the top of the stitch, like there. Of course I'm going to push it to the back because I don't want it on the front of my work. I'll pull it to the back. I'm just going to turn my work over. So in the top of that stitch, and pull through. And I'm going to pull this very tight, so really bringing these two together, and then I can open them up a little bit just to make it nice and smooth. Then I can work this in properly, and of course you do that by taking your time and working it in two directions. That's a general tip I always have. Work your yarn in two directions, so both this way, and then I've got it, there we go, this way, and then of course also back. That way you don't accidentally pull it out too easily. There we go. And you can cut the rest off. Now of course also this thread you need to work in, that's from the beginning. And what you see now, if I just do a little bit of fudging, as you see here, this is a very smooth line, and this here is the stitch that you just made with your with the yarn. So that's the invisible join here. Work away the last thread, and then I do advise you to block this square, because that will make it just a little bit more sharp. That completes this instruction video. I hope this was a useful video for you, and I want to thank you for watching. I hope to see you again next time.